So I went to Gezina to try to view the cars that they have, and I found some very nice cars. So this is one of the cars that I found. So this seems like a special spec in terms of the Audi. So if you go to Gezina dealerships on a weekend, what's happening is that they will be washing most of their cars, so their cars are just going to be open, so you can just walk around, actually get a good look in terms of the cars, the outside and the inside. So because the cars are always outside and they are just next to the main road, so they get dirty very fast in terms of the outside, so they have to regularly clean them. So this one was in very good condition, so definitely if I had around 800,000, maybe I would consider, but yeah, we are still not there. So this is a very beautiful car. This is a very beautiful car in terms of the outside. I did not see anything wrong with the car. All I saw was just a clean car, obviously clean because they washed it, but other than that, this is a very clean car. So I continue to walk around. If you actually take your time to walk around the Gezina dealerships, you actually find some very nice cars. So here's one example of the cars which I found, which was in very good condition. So this is a Golf 7 TSIs. So in terms of the Golf 7 TSI, so this is the spec that is below the GTI. In terms of the Golf 8, they are not going to be giving us the TSI version. So if you want the Golf 8, you have to go for the GTI or the Golf R. So you can see this one is going around 289,000. So what I saw in terms of this car, the condition and the kilometers which were presented actually made sense. So it wouldn't make sense for seeing such an old car. You find that it's going around 10,000 kilometers. That's when you know that this is a red flag. So in terms of this one, I did not see anything outside in terms of any dent. So when I moved on, I went to another dealership. I came across the Audi A3, the latest one. So this is a very good car. So there's one thing that I noted when I went to this dealership is that most of their cars have a DECRA report, meaning that these cars were bought from We Buy Cars, then they came in to sell them here. Obviously they have to make profit, so they have to inflate the prices just a bit. So that's something that you should note, because I've heard people criticizing We Buy Cars, saying that they will never buy cars. So if you come to Gezina and you buy a car, you never know whether this car comes from We Buy Cars or not. The advantage is that if you go directly to We Buy Cars, you have a DECRA report. You'll be able to see, okay, what kind of state is the car in, then you'll be able to decide. Because for example, if you look at this A4, it's in very good condition. Everything outside, there isn't even a single dent. So looking at the car, you won't know what issues does it have, because you don't even have a report that you can look at least if you are at We Buy Cars, you have a report. But let's forget about We Buy Cars. So this car doesn't have any dent, not even any dent. It's just in good condition. It's clean. If really even the mechanical components of this car are in good condition, so definitely this is a very nice car, especially for the price. You can get a Jimny car for less. Yeah, talking about Jimny cars, this is the real Jimny's. Yeah, BMW, built for speed. Yeah, that brand that they say bring all my money. Yeah, when you come here, you need to know what you're actually doing. You need to come with a mechanic who will actually look at the car and tell you in terms of what kind of state is the car in. Because what I can tell you is that most BMWs, as they get old, they start becoming money pit. let me explain why BMWs, they become money pit, and why people actually sell them when they reach 100 kilometers, 100,000 kilometers to say. For example, even this one is 100,000 kilometers. This is because BMW engineers, they use plastic in the engine bay. So basically that plastic, over a long period of time, they start to crack, and then they break, then you have problems in the car. So let's come in terms of the dealership where I found a lot of red flags. So this is a dealership that I found still in Gezina. So almost all the cars that I saw in terms of this dealership, they had, it's either in terms of the kilometer, 31,000, 30,000, 33,000. I never saw anything beyond, whether 50,000, whether 100,000. Even these two cars that I'm looking at right now, they don't even have kilometers beyond 40,000. Both of them, they were going around 31,000, 32,000. So all the cars that you can see on the line this side, which have the engine bay open, the kilometers were more or less the same. So to me, that was a very red flag, especially considering the years that these cars have been on the road and the conditions that I can see with my own two eyes. So that was a very big red flag. That was a very big red flag. So it makes me wonder whether this dealership, it buys cars which only have that certain amount of kilometers, or someone has done some tampering in terms of the kilometers. We'll never know. All I can say is that if you're serious about buying a second-hand car in terms of Gezina, take a mechanic with you. Take your mechanic with you if you love your money and you really love the car. Yeah, you can go and take a look at it. But if you have a mechanic, so when I was done with that dealership, I decided to go and have a look at cars that our uncles buy when they are about to retire, or those ones who have a lot of money in their pockets that they don't mind our friends, our neighbors on the other side from taking their cars and making it to jump over the border on the other side. I found these two Toyota Hilux. So they're the same spec. The only difference is that they are wearing two different tires. So I'll talk about them in a moment, but first of all, let's talk about this Wrangler. As you can see, this is a Wrangler. These are for those ones who feel like they didn't struggle while growing up and they want to go off-roading. They want to experience what is it like to drive in the mud. And like us, this is what you get. But the thing that you have to know about this one is that the tires are gone, Shem. I don't want to lie, the tires are gone. As you can see from my hand how big this tire is, so you can just imagine how much you're gonna spend in terms of these tires. In terms of cars that drive with all four tires, what you need to know is that when one tire is gone, whether from a pothole or a puncture, you have to buy all four tires. Even when you replace, you have to buy all four tires. So that's a very expensive car. So moving back to the Toyota, so as I said, this spec is the same. It's just that one is higher, one is lower. So you have to decide, what do you like? Do you like the one that's higher, that's using all four tires, or do you want the one that's lower, that's using all-terrain tires? So those are tires that you can drive whether in winter or in summer. So these ones are on the white one, they are specifically designed for driving off-roading, but also the increase in terms of the petrol consumption. So looking at the height or the ground clearance, you can see the white one has a very high ground clearance, so you can already know that it's made for off-roading. So you just have to choose, what do you want? Which one do you want? Do you want the one that's lower or the one that's not? So moving on into more cars, so I found something that I actually like. This is the A class, this is the A250. This is the sweet spot in terms of the A class range. What you need to know is that the A250 uses a 2-liter engine, whereas the A200 uses a 1.3-liter engine. But the only thing that I like about Mercedes-Benz is that they are not falling into this thing of using 3 cylinders. So even though the car is 1.3 in terms of liters, they are both use 4 cylinders. So this car is in very good condition. Like, I had to look at it for a couple of minutes. I walked around, I checked the engine bay. I couldn't see any red flags. Like, this is a very tempting car. Definitely, if I was about to buy an A class, this is the one that I would buy. This is the one that I would buy. So I looked at it, I looked everywhere. Yeah, if you go to Gezina, you're gonna find some very nice things. Sometimes you may find red flags in terms of cars, but from time to time you'll find such things like this one. For those who want an off-roader and can afford a proper off-roader, we have a Jimny for you. We have a second-hand Jimny for you. For me, in terms of this car, the price is not worth it. So this one was going around 300,000. It comes with a 3-cylinder engine, and you can see even in the front it has tow hooks. I don't know which car is gonna tow. Because off-roaders are actually bigger than this car and have a greater weight. So yeah, that is being my review in terms of cars that you can find in terms of Gezina. Just be aware. I would say that if you want to go and buy a second-hand car in Gezina, just go with a mechanic, because you're gonna get robbed. You don't even have a port that you can look at. Just be aware of most of the red flags. Yeah, and that is being it in terms of my review. And yeah, if you're still watching, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, support the guy. The guy is aiming for 1,000 subscribers very soon, and I can't do it alone. I can do it only with you. I mean, not without. Yeah, and definitely I have another video that is lined up, and thank you for your support, and I'll see you next time, same place, same time.